Hello dear viewer, welcome to my monthly PlayStation 2 collection update. This time we got 7 new games and a few oddball items, and there's a really big game in this stack, and I put it at the end, to make you stick around because you greedy viewers will run off at the first sight of anything interesting. Put up a thumbnail on the side of some Barbie game, you're gone. So I'm holding the last game hostage. The first game on today's list is Wild Arms Altered Code F. I love Wild Arms for the original PlayStation, but I had no idea that this was a remake of that game. I had assumed this was a sequel or a spin-off, but it's actually an enhanced version for the PS2. Having said that, I'm not a huge fan of the new intro, so let's just play a little bit of the original PS1 intro. That gives me goosebumps. This is a fantastic game, and while I'm not a big fan of the new intro animation, the rest of the changes all seem awesome. 5 new playable characters and 3D environments, as well as some new animation. Oh, this also comes with a bonus DVD containing the first episode of the Wild Arms anime. And for you European gamers, I'm sorry to inform you that this never made it to your part of the world. Now for a non-game, the Action Replay Max. This is a PS2 disc that allows you to enter cheat codes into your games. Also, it turns out there are 5 different action replay options for the PS2, and this is the 3rd rendition. It does allow for adding cheats to the game, but not much else, unfortunately. I was hoping when I bought this that this would let me dig through the game files and transfer game saves from a thumb drive to my memory card, but no luck. I'm glad to have this, and thanks to the research I did for this video, I'm now familiar with the available versions and will know what to look for next time. This may still come in handy though if I'm getting grumpy with the game that I'm reviewing. I'm looking at you, Rule of Rose. The Sims Bustin Out. Okay, I like The Sims, but after playing for 8 hours, I always rename it Whiny Punks Who Can't Remember to Pee. This version of the game is a pleasant surprise. There's a snarky intro followed by a simple progression system to unlock new parts of the game. I love unlockables, and EA knows it, which is probably why they make so much money. Despite my distaste for electronic arts, this is a fun game, and if I need some Sims time on the PS2, I'm sure this will be the one that I choose to play. Rock Band Country Track Pack. I'm not showing you this game. If I use any of the music contained within my video will get pinged by YouTube, and it's Rock Band. You all know what this looks like. This pack includes 21 new tracks from artists like Shania Twain, Kenny Chesney, and Dixie Chicks. Guilty Gear Dos Equis Accent Core Plus. Not to be confused with Guilty Gear XX Accent Core, which had some bugs that were fixed for this release, although I guess this version also has some bugs that weren't in the original. Weird. This also has a story mode not available in the non-plus version, as well as 2 additional playable characters. I'm not at all familiar with this franchise, but it seems like a lot of fun. Giant anime characters in a fighting game? I personally believe that there are 2 successful strategies for making a fighting game. The first is like this, and the second is the Super Smash Bros. Style that has more movement and environmental elements. It's been a while since I've played a game like this. It's refreshing. Armymen Air Attack 2. This is a sequel to a PS1 game that didn't come with a tutorial, or if it did, I didn't take advantage of it. Whatever the reason, the controls weren't too hard to figure out, but I decided to just push in and took a lot of damage and couldn't figure out a way to repair my helicopter in this first stage. Is it possible to dodge the enemy attacks? I couldn't figure that out either. I have played some fantastic Armymen games in the past, and this doesn't hold up when compared to those. This does have a respectable score of 75 on Metacritic though, so maybe I'm missing something here. But then again, this was an early release for the PS2 here in North America, which may explain it. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. What? Another Marvel dungeon crawler game? 2 X-Men Legend games must not have been enough because this exists, and I had way more fun with this game than I did with those games. How do I keep missing out on some of these titles? This game was a little bit rough to begin, as not all of the features are well explained, but it seems that there's loads of awesomeness packed onto this disc. Swinging around as Spider-Man was freaking sweet, but I couldn't figure out how to revive fallen heroes. I hope to get more playtime into this game someday. Quick tangent. Games like this are why I hope to finish my PS2 collection. I figure once I own every PS2 game released here in the States, I can spend more time going back and playing all of these titles. There are so many games on my shelf that I want to spend more time with, but I also need to play all of the new games that I'm spending my hard-earned money on. I will get to that 100% mark one day, and we will have a party. Got a new silver PlayStation 2 controller. I'm surprised I didn't already own one of these. New Pelican accessories memory card. Haven't actually checked to see what saves are on here. I don't know, I never really play them or anything like that. I'll peek at them, but I never actually load them up. Kuon. This is a very special game that I'm sure any PS2 collectors out there will immediately recognize. This is, at the time of this recording, the second most valuable PS2 game released here in North America. It's second only to Rule of Rose, and I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on it, except to say that I'm kicking myself for not buying it when it was going for $130. I'm so glad that this one is out of the way now. In fact, watching the top games drastically rise in value has caused me to rethink my collecting plan, and I'm spending more time focusing on getting the top 20 titles now. I already own about half of the top value games, but there are plenty I still need to find before this hobby really catches on and I'm priced out of the game. But enough about the game's cost, let's talk about the gameplay. This is a Japanese horror game set in feudal Japan. There are two stories happening at the same time, and when the game begins you can choose to start the yin phase or the yang phase. There are monsters, spells, creepiness, exploration, and difficult puzzles that you'll tackle here. I'm not far into this game at all, but I'm told it's a lot of fun. What I've played so far is okay, and judging by the Metacritic score of 57, not a lot of reviewers were impressed. The gameplay is better than Rule of Rose, but the story is less interesting. Also, this game was developed by From Software, who went on to make the Dark Souls series of games. I do suspect I'll review this game at some point, as it is one of the most collectible games on the console. The survival horror genre was hugely successful on the PlayStation 2, and I'm amazed at how well these games have held their value. One of the curiosities of the hobby, I suppose. I feed off the soul of subscribers. Please subscribers. Thanks for watching. Click that like button. Recommend games in the comment section. I've got about a quarter of the games released here in North America so far, so there's still a lot that I've never played, so I'm looking for those hidden gems. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Sweet Shrek controller.